idea until I like decide to look at it on YouTube.
Weirdly enough, our YouTube, our Tables Taurus has actually been doing shockingly well as of late, especially with this
That's
stream.
awesome.
This stream. Yeah, not as many for the most recent ones, but like especially the starting like 7 of them or 8 of them were not very consistent viewership, which is super weird for a VODs channel. Oh Jesus, why am I so fucking loud? Why am I so loud? What the fuck on? Only talk real quick.
Hello. Get in the water.
Okay, everyone's loud. What the fuck?
Mr. Sandman, send me
Why is
me a
everyone loud? What the hell? Hold on, I need...
Mr. Sandman, send me a
double check
man. Make him the sandiest car doorman who can.
The sandy
Give him
The
sand
stream is
and
over.
a lot of sand.
stream has arrived. Why the
Then
fuck?
put him in a sandbag, Sandman.
No, okay,
I love you.
So that's that voice, and then we go to my stream.
I guess we've
And I'm
reached the
so
singing
loud.
episode of this season.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
the
my
musical episode.
Why is that?
God. Do not expect
Fuck.
me to sing in Cyril's accent.
I switch every single song because she forgets what she's singing. So she's like, oh, it's this song. Oh, wait, no.
What the
That could be done really
hell?
well if you just like go from song to song fluently.
Because there's so many songs that have like
Yeah.
the same amount of beats, right? You
Yeah,
just
yeah,
have to follow
exactly.
the beats.
hmm
Holy shit! I think. What the fuck happened to my audio?
If there was like a proper like a full on musical animated like thing for this, what kind of songs would we sing?
Oh, it's doubled up. Okay.
Like, are you thinking genre?
Yeah, kind of, but like, well, you can do a lot with it, but
I'm thinking
Okay, there we go.
radioactive.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly,
Yeah, the type of score they used in
Okay, there we go.
Arcane.
Oh fuck yeah.
Oh, Arcane would be good.
We've been watching that recently, and just 10 out of 10. Like I've already seen the first
The
season,
only thing-
and it's still 10 out of 10.
So it's good. I was thinking about watching it. I just
Girl,
haven't.
you need
Oh,
to
that's
watch that
so
shit.
good.
It
I've
will
never-
you will love the fuck out of it.
I've never even.
I gotta
played
rewatch Mystery of Avaros.
I don't think I've heard that one. Let me
That one's on Netflix.
turn you up a little.
What was it?
bit.
Mystery of Avaros.
I haven't watched that one at all. I'm in full parent mode most of the time.
Me too. I'm watching Miss Rachel right now.
Steve and Maggie.
Have we lost the age of Blue's Clues?
Oh no!
No, it's the fact that Blue's Clues is hard to find on the streaming service.
All right,
Honestly,
so Blue's
That's-
There's
that
a
Clues
hurts.
nail, it
has,
never
like-
fails.
Oh no.
All right, so my
No.
era of Blues
I'm
Clues.
still shocked the Wiggles are still a thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love them.
Oh my god.
I never really watched The Wiggles, so I wasn't the
How
Wiggles person.
dare.
Yeah, well, I'll do another one. I did not watch SpongeBob. I was not the SpongeBob person either.
I didn't either.
That's
I
not
didn't
as
either.
bad. That's
High
not
five.
as
banned
bad.
from watching that.
Oh my
My-
god.
My wife loves SpongeBob, and it's one of like a few shows that I absolutely cannot stand.
Mm-hmm.
And Jasper has found like 2 or 3 shows on Netflix that I don't like them because I feel like it's insulting to him the way that it's made. What was it? Rabbids.
Are
That's
you
a
talking
show?
about the wait? What? You talking about the white rabbits?
The
From, like, the video
Rabbids.
game?
That's a show.
I don't think I've ever heard of that show.
They have a
before.
show?
Actually had a show?
Have a show,
thought-
and it
I just thought it was
is
I just thought it was a
It is
Mario
as-
thing.
it is just plain stupid.
Yeah.
I think you
See-
should probably find something a little
Technically,
slower.
it was a Ubisoft thing, but maybe.
See, when I was a
Existed
kid,
in the
we got
Rayman
like
universe.
Bob the Builder, we had like Cartoon Network, we
Dora
had
the Explorer.
Dora the Explorer.
You can thank HBO for not having Cartoon Network anymore.
God, I miss
Mm.
As long
Cartoon
as it's
Network.
not too fast paced, right? I've heard that people are like, "Oh, you do slower paced ones, or else they won't be so like I need like the dopamine right now."
A lot of the
They'll be,
Cartoon
like,
Network
calmer.
ones are on Hulu.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's good.
But is it the old school Cartoon Network, like fucking Kids Next Doors, or is it like the new Cartoon Network, like
Well, how hyperactive do you want them to
something?
be? Do the newer ones if you want the
I don't know.
hyperactive attention span.
I'm gonna deafen real
Stop.
quick.
No,
Just listen
don't be
to
pressing
Purgatory's
buttons.
audio.
Not a problem. Thank you, Story.
This is not my laptop. I don't need you pressing buttons.
The
Yeah,
the
I know you don't
fun
like that. Stop.
one of the fun things that Jasper did
Don't tell
when
me
he
no.
was
Turn you
young
down a
was
little
he
bit.
actually liked watching some of the spooky, creepy shows from when I was a kid.
Mm.
So like Secret of Nim, he loved
man.
that. We watched the shit out of that.
Yeah,
Uh,
she likes
Can you
it.
be a touch louder? Thank you.
Nightmare Before Christmas was just
Stop
over and
screaming.
There we
over.
go.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Nightmare
not
Before
playing on the
Christmas
computer.
was so fucking good. It was not top tier, I would say, but it was still pretty damn good.
You take that back. It's top tier.
Yeah.
Look, Oogie Boogie is
Okay,
one of my
back in
favorite
there.
villains, like of all
He's
time.
scary. He's so scary.
I just
The
love
kids are so interesting. You don't see them a lot, but the kids in masks.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
love
the trick or
them.
treaters,
Yeah.
Lock, Stock, and Barrel.
Oh, you know their names? Holy crap!
Yeah.
Turn you down a little bit.
Sapphire, calm
I always
down.
thought they were so
I'm
interesting.
trying to get on the Foundry.
Hey Gelmar, can you talk real quick?
See,
Let me
it's
test
really
your audio.
wild when you start going down the rabbit hole and you find the
Hello,
YouTube
hello?
videos
I'm
that try to
Let
delve
me turn you
into
up.
all of the main characters' deaths that led them to Halloween Town.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're not just like born there. They actually
No,
died.
no, I believe everyone dies to get there, if I recall correctly.
I mean,
It's
that makes
Halloween
sense.
Town. It's
Actually-
not like Death Town.
I don't know if they like specifically
mean-
elaborated on that.
Oh,
Lower you
but
a
did they
little bit.
choose to be Halloween Town? Just like they could have chosen to be like Christmas Town, but
So
they
I
decided.
think it's more like fan lore,
Ah,
but some of it makes a lot of sense. Like he's like, yeah, I can see that. Like Oogie Boogie was a mobster who used to run a casino.
Oh, that
Oh,
would
the
make a lot of
gambling.
sense. Yeah. yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm back.
That would explain his boss fight
I
in Chain
appreciate
of
you.
Memories.
Mm. Let me lower Gelmar
be
a
a-
little
my turn to go.
bit. Okay. Okay. Gelmar, real quick, do me a favor and say like a sentence.
Good enough.
Yeah, that works. Just need to be able
I'm sorry,
to
when
hear
you put me on the
you.
spot, I'm not usually very good at those things.
You're fine.
Yeah.
I do very similar things. Why am I fucking peeking? My shit is not. Ugh. Stop making me peek my stupid audio box. Alright, well, that was a long-winded way to say that my audio has been fucking itself for some my audio for some reason doubled up. And I'm not sure why. Like all of my audio sources doubled up, which is why it was so fucking loud. I'm like, what the fuck? That was kind of weird. We'll wait just a second for Rue to get back, but as we do, I'm going to start my intro for everyone who is new here. Intro. Hello and welcome, dear patrons, to the Tables of Tartarus, a chapter of Purgatory Corner. Today, I am your storyteller, Sinspeaks, and we shall be continuing the tale of Tyrant's Wrath. Joined alongside with me is Ania, voiced by Storyestry, Cyril, Gelmar, Dakota, Rue, and Sapphire. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh,
Hi.
Alright. And we're mostly just, we were trying to figure out audio for a second there, so, especially anyone who is joining through the YouTube, usually we mess around with audio a little bit trying to figure out what to do, but hopefully it should be pretty good to everyone so far. I'm still trying to figure out why my mic is designed to be louder on some days and quieter on others, and it just kind of pisses me off a little bit, but that is fine. So last episode you guys were in... Huh?
Your cat's probably mess with your mic when you're not looking.
If they ever come to my room. But
Right,
last
right.
episode we were doing a combat scene. We're finishing up a combat scene actually inside of the boat, and you guys were fighting quite a few enemies. You guys were fighting a couple berserkers. You guys were fighting a couple rangers, a mage who really knocked your party down a couple of pegs as well, and Nia fucking destroyed his ass. And then Cyril was in combat with the Brute Leader, who was just beating the shit out of him, but also getting the shit kicked out of him too. And we finally saw our very first double nat 1, I believe, in the entirety of my channel, if I recall correctly. Which you can hear Cyril's excitement over that. But it was a fantastic time of watching a mass amount of murder, pain, horror, and despair, but also joy and hope as you guys were trying to save your captain from being targeted by pretty much everyone. You guys learned that she was most likely part of the Crimson Talons quite a long time ago, and it seems like you don't really leave the Crimson Talons, from what she has said. No one's really sure why yet, but after the whole battle had concluded, you guys had gone back to under the ship. What's that thing called? The cabins, I guess?
A deck.
Yeah.
See, you go down into the hold, and then there's the galley.
The cargo bay.
Probably the hold is what I'm thinking of in that case.
Yeah, probably the whole.
Yeah, but you guys went down
Below
into the
deck.
hold, below deck, and she
Cabin
kind
would
of...
also work too.
what was it?
Cabin? You said it
Oh.
first.
Yeah, cabin, below
Yeah, that would've-
deck, whichever one is the proper term for you nautical sailors out there. And, but you guys all went under... Sorry, my audio just cut out on my earbuds. I'm like, why did that happen? Okay. But you guys went down under the deck, and kind of sat around a big old table. I believe it would probably have been... Yeah, you guys just on each side, so I'm just gonna put you as you guys are. Ania, Cyril, and Gelmar on one side, Dakota, Rue, and Sapphire on the other. You guys can switch your positions if you'd like to. It's not particularly important, but if you guys want to sit next to one another, you're welcome to. And the captain at the head of the table. If Rue is back, though, before we do that...
Ru, or you have returned?
Bum, bum,
I don't know if she has.
Oh,
She's still
I
muted.
guess not. Still muted.
Alright, well, if she is not back, then I will just continue as we were. So you guys are sitting around the table, looking at the captain. She looks dead tired. You guys have done a lot of healing so far. You guys have done a lot of stuff trying to take care of each other. You all sit down. Cyril clearly looks worse for wear as he sits down with probably a thunk, I would say. Very tired one. And the captain kind of looks at your group, and her eyes are kind of weary. The last probably about 10 minutes or so of the ship battle itself was a struggle, I would say the least. Hey, a bit of background audio, Sapphire.
I'm back.
Oh, there you are, Rue.
Welcome back.
Sorry.
You're
Are
good.
you
you're
saying
fine.
hi?
Huh?
Oh, Sapphire's waving to everybody.
Oh,
Alright.
hello.
Ania gives a sort of half wave. She's distracted. She has like little electrical ripples going over from now and again as she focuses on this
Ooh,
storm.
fancy. All right. But before we start with the captain, I actually want to go back because Rue wasn't here 2 episodes ago. And, you have a little bit of background music, background audio, Sapphire. Just an FYI.
Yes, I know.
Oh, okay.
I'm wrestling a baby.
She's like, I want to be there too. But yeah, so at the beginning of 2 sessions ago, I was going to have us do like a little bit of a flashback to the night after, I believe. Yeah, I think the night after you guys had that whole moment with Rue's the graves and stuff, and specifically her inside of the house with the family. Rue, how'd you want to tackle that? Did you just want the letter, or?
I think it's probably just started off where they're all kind of heading out. Maybe there were, you know, or I guess like we were all just heading out towards the boat. And they'd kind of find it on their own. The letter would find it on their own, back in the room where she had slept.
Oh, okay. And then you wanted to read it, I believe?
Yeah. So, back in the place where she had graciously been able to rest and have a meal with them before turning over into the next day, she had quietly kind of hidden away these things back in the room. Maybe just childishly, like under a blanket or something, while they tidying everything up. So that she could skedaddle real fast before being able to like do anything. So this little letter would have been found underneath the covers. It just says, "Hi, this is Rue. I felt that I may not be able to say everything to you by the time I leave, because I know I'm not very good with words or really thinking on the spot. So I'm writing it down, a little letter, as best I can. Thank you for treating me so kindly. Thank you for letting me stay the night and inviting me for a meal today, for a very long time. Before today, even if it wasn't all the time. I know at least was once, right now, and that really matters to me. It's my pleasure to be able to have a meal with you. There's no family here. I'm very happy that you made parties for me and celebrated my coming back and let me stay with you. But, it's not right. This is your house, and your land. I'm not sure if everyone else would have done for me as you had, because it's a little hard for me to figure that out. But it was you, and what you've done is only something that you've done. So, I'm thanking you very much. I'm very happy that it is your family that lives here. I hope that you can continue to live here happily, for however long that is. My mom and pa loved this house, so I'm sure you'll love it too. So, not sure how to say, but I'm going to say this will be my last time in Abacast Valley. I know I've been a burden to the village. I know I've been sudden and been a stranger into your home, which is rightfully yours. My family, my mom, pa, and Kennar, I know that they would want me to find my new home. And, this one is not mine. But everybody has a home. You just have to find it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not really sure how it will go, but it's a new challenge. I'm hoping you can continue to have parties, even with me not being here. Here's something I've left for you, because it has no value that is more than everything that you've given me and blessed me with. And I hope you can continue to live comfortably. So please take it, and do not give it back. You deserve more than this. Blessings to you, and to this village that cared about the troublemaker who lost her way and invited her warmly. Yeah. So I think that's about it. Bye. So the edge of the letter has a smiley face in the corner, and underneath the sheets is a bag of 21 gold and a
Oh my
hot
God.
cheesecake on the table.
Aww.
all of
Yes.
her money.
That's so much gold to a villager family.
That is so much gold to
Holy
them. Holy
crud.
shit.
For the family in the village that helped her for years and years and
Mhm.
years, she wants to help for years to come.
I have
Oh,
a
that's
question
so sweet.
about. I don't think Rue would have mentioned it, but I have a question for Rue's mindset just because of my curiosity. Is Rue still going to call herself Rue from Abigath Valley?
Is she might, you'll have to see.
I'll just see. Okay,
It's a
no
very
problem.
good question. I like
You'll have
it.
to see. Good question. Journey's over, and now it's to finding a new home. Let's do it.
That's so sweet. Why am I peeking? I shouldn't be peeking. I should not be peeking. Stop peeking me. So mad. Sorry, I get fucking mad at Audie. Okay. That is Jesus Christ. That is so sweet. That is so unbelievably sweet. God damn. I had to take a second to recover from the sheer potent sugar that I've been infusing my veins with at this point. God damn.
Straight to the veins.
You wouldn't have seen them obviously read it or not, but they would have probably cried. They would probably cried at that just from how unbelievably sweet it was, but also like the idea that someone that they care for that deeply, to a degree and whatnot, disappearing, is a difficult measure for them to think about. And specifically not returning. It's definitely interesting, I would say, for them. But I do like that. That is so sweet. Okay, so that's what happened in Abigath Valley. That is the conclusion to that bit. We were going to obviously have it last 2 episodes ago, but Rue was out sick, so. But yeah, so you guys have that. That was kind of, we can see that as like a flashback in Rue's mind of her putting that stuff down as you all sit down at the table, and the captain is just kind of leaning against her hands, looking very tired and resting there. It's only been like probably about maybe a couple hours since the storm had really gone into full force, and now it's slowing down a little bit. But the combat itself was only like, I think, a total of 5 or 6 minutes. But extreme stress and stuff like that. So she is tired. She's like leaning there, and she's just like, so. Any questions you folks have for me?
Cyril's gonna take the lightning javelin and the sword from the assassin and just drop them on the table with a clank.
Okay.
These pirates were very well equipped,
Indeed.
and they very specifically wanted to use that equipment on you.
I'm not surprised.
And they said something about you yourself once being one of their number as a pirate.
I was part of the crew.
I hear you have not been entirely truthful with us.
Just haven't told you everything. I used to be a part of Roderick's crew a long time ago. He's she kind of like thinks for a second, kind of like chewing on her lip a little bit, and just kind of goes, he's smart, but he is a bit too stubborn for his own good, I would say. Whenever you leave his command, well, you don't care if you're a low-leveled folk, but now is one of his right-hand men, or women, I guess. And so I know a lot of information about him, and I'll take most of it to my grave. but it's a loose end. It's not something he enjoys having out there. So he sends folks after me every time I cross these waters. But not like this. This is new.
And Ania remains quiet. She has her eyes closed. She's just focusing.
Mm-hmm. She'll
Exactly as if
reach
the two of
over
you
and
had met.
grab the lightning sword for a second, just kind of looking over. What are you saying, Gilmore?
How was it that the two of you met?
Oh, I was a dumb kid. Must have been actually about your age. She looks at Nia, about 60, maybe 70, and I lived on the streets a lot. There wasn't a whole lot of venturing stuff was getting kind of new back then, so I did what I had to survive, and eventually I fell into his clutch, made my way up the ranks. It was good food, good protection, and killed more folks than I can count, but, ain't no one that wasn't deserving of it. We shared some of the spoils that we had with other towns that needed it, from riches to foods to whatever have you, but as time went on, he became more obsessed with Yuan-ti ruins and Yuan-ti folklore and all that.
Ania's eyes open.
And it's one of the reasons why he's in that castle. They have all kinds of Yuan-ti imagery around it. But eventually I decided it wasn't a life for me. I didn't want to be a bandit, was my interest. Put me on pirate duty for a little bit, and that also was my interest. I don't like stealing from sailors, no matter how some self-righteous pricks they can be. So I eventually left, got my own ship, got my own crew, and we do trades. Been like that for the last 70-something years.
I kind of like Dakota kind of leans over to Cyril slightly. And she's like, and these are the same bandits that I think we're heading to. Just checking.
Indeed. Although I think between the two groups, we might be able to at least parlay with the king.
I believe Ania would probably have noticed this, and she focuses very heavily on specific statements and stuff. You would distinctly remember King Roderick was classified as a human, and she is talking about having met him at least 150 years ago.
Do I know about the thing where, like, is that a thing in this culture where pirates can pass on their name to another person?
It sometimes is a thing, but it's very infrequent.
Okay.
Like for Plebeian Princess Bride stuff?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I knew exactly.
Yeah, I knew exactly where you go.
Have you considered piracy? You would make a wonderful Dread Pirate Roberts.
Such a good movie. Okay. And they will take a note of that. It's still angry.
Why am I?
I don't think she'll mention it yet. She's gonna let everyone else get their questions out first.
Okay, I'm gonna switch my audio to my other audio. See if that makes it better or worse. Oh, wait. That makes the mono. There we go. Sorry. Okay. But yeah, she'll kind of look at the group as you talk amongst yourselves, and she's just kind of looking at the electric blade. You guys do see electricity actually flowing over the blade. Like it's like a weird, almost static electricity, like a visual static electricity moving across the blade as she's just kind of looking over it.
Remind me again the conversation we had with Alicia about the tree.
About the tree?
Did she about the elder tree?
Yeah.
Did she mention anything about Yuan-Ti involvement?
She did not know.
Okay.
She had stated with the tree that there were rumors that something was happening to the tree. That, you know, the magical aura around the tree, essentially, some of the forest itself was getting disrupted. So they sent two of their two very specialized people for it.
And the Yuan-Ti are so ancient, that's a monster even I never faced.
Yeah. You've never seen a Yuan-Ti before. They're a myth in every culture, and they're basically the boogeyman in every culture. They're the only thing in every culture that stays the exact same. Everything else has differences that you can nitpick, essentially. But the one thing that doesn't change is the Yuan-Ti and the stories of them.
What's so Cyril sort of looks over at the captain.
Mhm.
What is his obsession with the Yuan-Ti? They're a myth, boogeyman. They
Well,
don't.
He never really said exactly. He has a passion for them. The only thing I've ever gathered from him is that it's from his childhood in some way, shape, or form. Something happened when he was a kid. And the fixation just kind of grew and grew as I've been around him. Every statue that he could find from the ruins around the forest, everything that we could find, murals, every picture, every frame that we can find, he would get, and he would put into either his room or in the Crimson Claw castle itself. He has, I would say, an obsession with them.
So he likes them?
I don't know if like would be the proper term there. I think the closest thing you could say is that he desires to find them.
Desires to find them. Aren't they like assassins?
Indeed.
I just wanted to ask, so we are going, our quest is to go to where King Roderick is. His group is the one that's stationed there, and there's a second group that's like causing turf war.
Yeah, so his group
Or
is
is
the
it the
one that's
opposite way
stationed there. They own the castle, and they're basically the constant what's the term? I want to say rogue. Yeah, occupants. They're the constant bandits. That's what I was looking for. That are just kind of terrorizing the general area around them. They do a lot of raids and a lot of attacks and stuff. And the guild is saying that they're having a turf war with something. From some of the information you guys have gathered, from some of the reports they've had, apparently it's Yuan-Ti. But it could easily be orcs. It could be a few other things. It could even be turf wars against the land animals themselves, which is why they're sending you guys to go look for it, to not a higher priority. Because they send you guys and you guys find nothing, that's fine. If they send a high priority person and they find nothing, that's potentially a high priority that they could lose out on. So whatever is the turf war that is going on between these bandits and whatever they are fighting, they want you to stop, either by taking out the turf war. Hi, Vanny. By either taking out the turf war, taking out the bandits, taking out both, or stopping it in some other way.
Well, they want a reconnaissance, and if we take one or both out, that's like bonus, but they don't expect that.
Yeah. If you're able to come back with information about it, that's even better. If it's something particularly dangerous, they can send high priority in and not lose out on time or people.
Okay.
But they have no idea what it is that you are actually going to be facing, which is one of the reasons why they are so concerned about it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Ania will stay quiet unless everyone else seems to have run out of questions on their own for the moment.
I still have a couple.
Is Roderick a grandpa? He's really old.
I love Rue.
Rue's so cute. She's gonna like look at you, slightly confused that like you can see her face. It kind of like ticks over for a second. She just goes, "Oh, yeah. No, he's human. He's old." Like she has a hesitation there, and she's like, "I've never seen him age."
Should ever ask him about it, or
She
Like,
kinda,
what's his secret for youth?
She kind of like raises her eyebrow at Dakota. It's just like, would you?
I don't know the guy.
Rue would
I mean, if you were
She
his right
shrugs.
hand, I feel like if you were his right hand woman, you could have
A lot
asked
of
him.
a lot of the organization is trying to be as is trying to make sure that you know as much information as you need to and not much more information than you can. Otherwise, there's a very high possibility that you can get captured and then tortured and then you'll give out information. Not many of us tended to talk to each other about anything other than what we needed to do at that moment. And if we did need to talk to each other about most of it, we would usually use code phrases of sorts. If we need to talk about something personal, we would say something along the lines of, "How's the family?" You know, something that no one really understands, but just feels like it's a normal conversation to have.
Just like
And-
saying, big man, not balding? Cold War?
Yeah.
Was that a dirty joke, Rue?
Huh? No, he has his hair, doesn't he?
He does. Last I checked, anyways, some 30 years ago.
What dirty
Ania
joke?
Ania will lean forward and like redirect the conversation a bit. She'll be like, "So you have said that you have many secrets that you would take to your grave. It does seem like Mr. Sir Roderick is very intent on putting you in that grave. Are you willing to part with a few of them now?"
Look, I might be a bandit, I might be a pirate, but I don't sell things out. The only things I know about him I'm willing to tell you are the very little amount of information I have about his squad's movements that they generally take, but that's outdated information at best. I tried to keep all information I know about him and those he likes out as much as possible, ma'am.
I'm not asking you to sell it.
Especially given and how they behaved during our most recent confrontation.
That was odd.
I'm asking if you'd be willing to just tell us, considering that they may actually go to your grave at this rate.
They are actively trying to kill you.
Well, they have been for years. This one was just kind of new. He's getting desperate, it feels like.
And you will seem a bit frustrated for some reason, lean back and go quiet again.
She kind of like twiddles her fingers together a little bit and just kind of goes, "He's a strong man, but he rules like a father," is what I would say. He cares about every one of his members under him as much as he can. And he doesn't usually
Sending men after one of your daughters, or perhaps sister if you were both so close, is not fatherly or family-like at all.
Mhm.
Would
Yeah.
you kill 100 people to save 100,000?
That sounds pretty bad.
Yes.
Cyril
you really think-
just stepping in. That's like, yep.
Can you think? just look blankly and seriously at her. Can you think of very many occasions where such a thing would be necessary?
Imagine if you had a companion, and they had all the knowledge necessary to put down your entire team of, say, 1,000 people, with a single phrase that I could send to the Elven capital. I could kill every single person in that entire castle. If he cares about all of them and I have to die, that is simply a price he's willing to make.
What's
But you're not doing it though, so I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's a loose end.
I would just scatter the thousands to leave you with only an empty target.
How could you blame someone for doing something that they haven't done?
I am a threat to him, and I will be until the day I die. No matter where he goes, no matter how he moves, I will still be a threat to him. At least that's the way that he sees it. And all of his companions will follow him until either they die or they succeed. He's given them food, he's given them shelter, he's given them companionship. There is very little that they would not be willing to do for him. She kind of looks somber at that. She looks kind of sad.
Why don't you just go back?
Why doesn't she go back? Why don't you guys go back?
Yeah. Why don't you go back to within then if you want to be together? If it's just that you don't like taking from others, like how about take a different job?
She kind of chuckles softly, smiles a little bit, and she's like, no. I have issues with how he rules. I don't like the idea of raiding. I don't like the idea of almost dying almost every mission that we go on because we have to fight. This ship is peaceful to me. This travel is nice. I have a crew that I care about and depend upon, and they depend upon me. It's calm. Even when the seas are raging, I at least know how to handle it, and it's a consistent, albeit steady, supply run between the two areas. And if I wasn't here, like, how would the ships get by? Most other captains balk at the idea of traveling these waves.
what are his views on slave trade?
He doesn't like slaves. He views that idea of slaves as, if I have to force someone to follow me, they can be easily as forced to kill me. No. He would want people who follow him, who would be willing to die for him before they say anything about him. People who genuinely care for him, and the way he promotes that is through genuine care for them. He is not a
Ania
kind
is-
person.
Ania is scoffing.
He is not a kind person, but he knows how to get what he wants, and he treats
Is there
them well.
any way we could parlay with him?
She kind of like thinks for a moment and like kind of rubs her hands together, and it's just like, I could set up a meeting.
Gelmar raises an eyebrow.
You see, we have two purposes for where we are going. One is to look around, and the other is to quell this turf war. If it's possible to offer our assistance to him, assuming he can provide some backup as well, we may be able to help each other in eliminating, or at least culling the numbers of his enemies, of his current rival.
We don't know who that rival is yet.
And he's not exactly an upstanding citizen.
Dakota kind of raises a non-existent eyebrow at that and kind of looks at him. It's just like, I wasn't aware that was the kind of reconnaissance we were sent to do, sir.
If I may, if he's this insistent on killing you, why on earth would he obey? Or why on earth would he follow through with a parlay?
He wants
Do we
to
want
make
him to know we're
sure
coming?
that the loose end is always kept notice of, which is why he sends folks after me. These folks, she kind of looks at the swords in her hand, were mercenaries. They weren't his crew. We don't have weapons like those. As she puts the weapon back down on the table, which means that he outsourced. Kind of a stupid move on his part, but if he outsourced, it means that his men are focused elsewhere. If you manage to take out the folks that he's turf warring with, that battle he's having, he'll send his usual folks after me instead. I don't kill them, they don't kill me, they check on me, I beat the crap out of them, they leave, and then they come back a year later. Or whenever it is I take my ship out. I don't like killing those who I used to party with. Nor do they like the idea of killing someone that they looked up to. But he keeps tabs on me, so I can't say anything about him. He still respects me, and I still respect him, no matter what happens between the two of us. So, if I ask for a parlay, she kind of reaches into her pocket and pulls out what looks to be a small circular object, kind of similar to a smoke bomb of sorts, but could also be like a flare. She puts it down on the table. He'll answer. At least one of his men will. And he'll see whatever it is that you have to offer. I do have to warn you, though, if you pose a threat to him, he will not hesitate to eliminate it. He does not take kindly to threats.
So far, he's the only known variable. He has the resources. And
But he's a bad man.
And you're certain.
we're all somebody's villain.
And you're certain he would not view
I'm
the fact that we
somebody's
cut down his mercenary organization as a threat to him?
If they were mercenaries, he probably wouldn't care that much. Those he outsources, those he pays by coin, he has the same opinions of as those who are slaves. They can be outbought, they can be outbid. They mean nothing to him because he means nothing to them. So, if I killed them or you guys killed them, just another body in the water.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
The men are who mentioned King Roderick, right? It was or was it just the captain?
It was just the brute leader.
Okay, so he mentioned Roderick. Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you.
The assassin didn't have enough time to mention the brute leader.
Assassin needs to die.
Assassin had like one sentence and then fucking exploded.
You can't exactly put the knife up to somebody and be like, "Can you listen to my monologue, please?" I'm like, bro.
Knife up to
check.
throat to be or not to be.
I'm like, yeah.
Not to be.
Oh,
I gotta say, he posed that threat against the one person on the party who has no sense of self-preservation.
So
I
funny.
feel a lot of people here. A lot of people here don't have that.
And Cyril, let me just double check something. All right, cool. Just so I have the seeing positions correct, Ania, are you saying next to Cyril?
She's either sitting next to Cyril or Dakota. You said Cyril first, so that's fine.
Okay. And does that work with everyone else too?
Yeah.
Okay. And you have your eyes closed, Ania?
No, she opened them a long time ago when
Okay,
Beyond you
cool.
first mentioned.
Cyril, tell me how you are presenting yourself real quick.
Cyril is very much trying to hide how heavy he's breathing while he's sitting at the table. And his left hand has not touched the top of the table the entire time.
And I will say,
That he's been-
especially with such a high perception, Ania, blood is now currently leaking onto your coat.
I smack him. I gently smack his shoulder with my staff and cure light wounds.
You notice the cure wounds doesn't activate as you hit him.
Do I use up my spell slot?
You do not.
Or does something like weird? Okay.
As you hit him, you can
pauses,
feel you can feel the spell trying to take effect as it tries to like go into him, and then something stops it.
And she
Don't
pauses.
do that, please.
The spell or the hit?
The hit. Ow.
Okay, Ania will gently touch her staff to his shoulder, and this time cast Lesser Restoration, or try to.
It wants. Oh, actually, that's restoration. I forget how that one works. On.
I believe that
Poison?
is poison, illness, and something else.
Blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned, not illness.
That would go off correctly, but I'll say you keep your spell slot if you want to. Does not work on it.
Okay.
You do feel it trying to take effect, and just nothing.
Okay. Ania will. Go ahead.
Oh, it does not fail. I want state. Yeah.
And you will pause and look up to Cyril. I was like,
Do we need to go? You can have this conversation later. She's not going anywhere.
No, we can finish the conversation. I'm fine.
No, you're not.
I said I am fine, Ania.
I'm just imagining Dakota just kind of like watching this from like behind Cyril.
And
Because he's just standing slightly off to the side and he's just like, what is going on?
And he will huff, but not object for the moment.
You will see as you're kind of like you turn to look at him, there is a somewhat steady flow of blood creeping on the bench that you guys were sitting on, which is currently soaking a little bit into your cloak.
Is it red?
Very.
Is it normal color?
It is normal blood.
Can I make either a Arcana or a Medicine check? Or would I have to actually see the wound?
You're more than welcome to make a medicine check, but it will require you to physically touch him. Because he currently does have his poncho over him, which is already soaked with blood, and it's hiding literally everything under the poncho.
Okay. And he will look very huffy, but she won't force him to stop because he's very determined to continue the conversation for now.
Okie dokie.
If he passes out from blood loss, that means Ania can just look at him without him complaining.
That's a fair point.
I do apologize for the mess. I think the rain soaked some of the blood off of my...
She kind of just waves her hand and is just like, We've had much worse than blood down here.
Worse than blood?
Probably seawater.
I would have assumed.
Have you ever fished up a giant octopus and splayed its organs out on the boards?
Oh, ink takes forever to get out.
Takes a long time. You see like a Vietnam flashback look across her eyes. It's just like, it takes so fucking long.
All right, Cyril, what did you want to ask?
That's what I wanted to ask. If we could parlay, I think he would be the best one to talk to. As awful as he is, it would not be the first time that I have made a deal with a devil in order to attack something worse. And just as he finishes that sentence, there's this pause for half a second and just and a huge stream of blood comes out the bottom of his helmet and he collapses backwards on the floor.
Sir.
I'm not even gonna try to catch him. He's too heavy. And he will sigh and get up and go over to him.
We need to drag him to a bed. I'll look at him. Miss Captain,
Mm-hmm.
how long until we would need to send a call for parlay? Like, how many days out are we from our destination?
About 3 days.
So the sooner the better.
Aye.
She'll look to everyone else.
Do you all think we should at least set up the meeting?
I don't see any other way that we'd be able to reach him. Still, he says, turning back towards the captain, I somehow suspect that the process is a lot more complicated than you're letting on.
Well, someone comes finds us, and I tell them that they're bringing your party there. Unfortunately, I cannot guarantee your safety on the way there from the men that decide to pick you up. They have respect from me, but as for your group, well, there's only so much I can do, unfortunately.
Ania will start ushering Rue and Gelmar over to Cyril to pick him up.
I need the strength.
Are you grabbing Cyril by his shoulders only and dragging him, or are you grabbing him by his shoulders and his feet?
Whatever's the most useful. Let's do it.
Gelmar's just going to try and pick him up and just balance his back against his and just like start walking down, leaning forward.
Okay.
She doesn't know. She's just going to grab something.
She just grabs his legs and it's like, I got him, guys.
Okay, if Rue grabs his legs, Rue,
Yes.
what are you expecting to grab as a foot?
I don't know. It's something like a leg.
Like a regular person foot?
Like, yeah.
It's not.
Oh.
When you grab his legs, and everybody gets to see this one, it's a pair of cloven hooves.
Has it always been like that? Or, like, did his shoes, like...
It's pretty much always been like that. You remember those perception checks I asked you guys to make for...
Oh, I think so.
Mm-hmm. So it's pretty much always been like that.
Wow, are these your feet? Wow.
I think he's unconscious.
Oh. I'll tell you later.
Oh, the idea Root just picks up his legs, looks at his unconscious body, and just goes, I love your feet.
Well, she doesn't know what's going on.
Gelmar just like rolling his eyes, just like, he wants to get stranger and stranger by the day.
I love the
Idiot will-
spice.
Then he will try to get them to take Cyril to, I guess, Cyril's cabin. Do we have a bed big enough for Cyril?
Yeah,
that or
there's
like,
a couple
one
of
the
beds
barracks,
for.
cots or something like that.
Yeah, there's a couple of beds
Um,
for like big orcs and stuff in case they need to transport like really big creatures. So
Mhm.
there would be a bed.
Yeah, I just
And
wanted to say to the captain
Mhm.
before I'm going and stuff with everything, just say, if you know all that stuff, but you're not but you can't do anything with the information, maybe you should give it to somebody else because you know he's a bad person, but you're kind of stuck.
Maybe one day. I appreciate the thought.
Mm.
And while they're leaving, Ania will talk to Dakota and Sapphire and be like,
Could one of you, both of you, bring me some rags and some clean water? Preferably warm or hot, even. I don't know. Maybe ask the kitchen.
And do, miss.
Thank you.
And kind of walks off to get the stuff.
Nia will follow the group.
Okay. I'm assuming, Sapphire, you're going with Dakota?
Sapphire?
She's dead.
Oh, no.
The baby has tackled her.
Doing just, oh,
Gone.
The baby
Oh,
got.
wait, there she is. There she is.
The baby
What was the
lay
question?
ended the Shoryuken.
Ania asked Dakota and Sapphire to get some, medicinal supplies, mostly, clean, warm water, some rags. Dakota left, and Sin was asking if Sapphire would go with Dakota.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys do manage to get the supplies fairly easily. The cook in the kitchen is this really just blocky dwarf, and he's just he doesn't even look at you as you're walking. I need some rag. He's just fuck, and it just reaches over and grabs a weirdly constant supply of rags are just soaked in hot water and shit, and just throws them at you. Apparently, it's a very common thing for them to deal with bloody wounds. But as you guys kind of bring Cyril into the room and you lay him down on the bed, you do see that the poncho is slightly lifted over his chest. Something is lifting his chest slightly up.
Ania will pause and then sigh and she'll turn to Gelmar once they got Cyril laid down and be like,
Could you get the weapon that the not our captain, the other captain, the bad captain, the lightning thing? Could you go get that?
Yes. Sorry, he says, turning around and going back towards the room.
and when it's just Ania and Rue in there, Ania will lift up the poncho to see if there's a blade there or something.
Cyril, you can probably give the better description of what she's seeing.
The sorry,
You good?
Don't die.
I'm dying in real life. That's why I'm doing it.
No, you're a blacksmith, but don't die by the forge.
So, noticeably, the armor that Cyril wears has been caved in his abdomen and broken in a spot right where
Ooh.
the brute leader shoved Cyril's own shield into him when he fell on him. And the sharp pieces of the armor are actually sticking deep into his abdomen and holding the wound open.
Ooh. Okay.
Wow.
Ania will pause and look at this and just medical check. How bad is it? Can I tell his remaining HP with a medical check?
Yeah, feel free.
Whereabouts? Okay. Medicine, normal.
I would love to too. I love medicine checking.
Oh, please, by all means. Wow, I actually rolled pretty well, even though I rolled a 3. That's better.
The
Yeah.
two of
Oh,
you
it's
can
much better.
tell his mechanically his HP is currently 0. He is actively dying right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dang. That's not good.
Okay.
Rue, are you able to stabilize him, or do we need to get these out before we can?
Oh, we can probably do this. We're just gonna slap him with
we're such aggressive healers.
No, I like her fingers like pat him on the forehead, just go like a sharp little. Maybe it's a little more intense than maybe it needed to be, but it's spare the dying.
Like poke him on the forehead. It does not work.
Oh, that's not great.
Okay,
It doesn't work.
you have more strength than me. Can you take these out?
And while Rude does, Ania's going to look for any other wounds that are actively bleeding. She's going to try to like maybe check the back of the torso as well.
Okay. I'd say roll me another medicine check.
Let's see. Hopefully this is better.
You can do it.
Thank you. Oh, better. Not by much.
Ah,
Slightly better. He doesn't have a whole lot. It's mostly like small puncture wounds. It's from the spear, because he was using spear. There's slash wounds pretty much all across his body that also mimic from the poncho. It's just like a lot of very light slashes, very light puncture wounds and stuff. It's a lot of them though, and you see a shit ton of scars too.
Okay. Ania's going to try to tilt his head to the side so he can throw up any more blood, liquid, whatever. His antlers are in the way, so she might try to like if there's like a gap in between the bed and the wall, just sort of have them hang out there and keep his head turned to the side. She's not going to remove the helmet though yet.
Okay.
She might, but for now he gets to keep his helmet on.
Rue, let's go with a. You do have medicine, so I'm actually gonna have you roll a medicine check because that is actually higher than your strength.
Yep. Oh,
Was
you said
almost a
something about the
20.
10. Almost.
I was almost at 20. You have a very hard time trying to get these pieces out. They're very, very sharp. Basically his chest plate not only was caved in, it was snapped on several points when the shield literally impaled him. And so a lot of the points that you're trying to pull out are not only extremely slippery, but they're very sharp. So as you like grab it and try to pull, it like digs into your hand and slices it. And you do manage to get like one piece actually like fully out, but it like digs a large gash into your palm.
I could probably pour some water or something on this and then be able to keep going. Because I could pull things out and then cure wounds as we go.
Roll me a d20 real quick, Cyril. Roll me a private d20.
Private d20.
Yes. Alright, cool.
Just probably has a vial of water on her, just whatever.
Check my
That she's already
spells here.
purified.
Just washing
Just
your
making
hand.
sure her hands stay clean. Yeah, she goes back in and then trying to get everything and then patch up and stuff cloth in the holes so that he doesn't bleed out and stuff as she goes.
Okay. Roll me another medicine check. We'll see how that flies.
Can I do guidance on the medicine check?
Yes.
Oh, true.
Yes,
I
you
have
are
guidance
welcome
too.
to.
Yeah, good again.
Feel free to do
Nice.
the guidance if you'd like to.
Okay. Wait, which one of us? Both?
Probably both.
Okay.
I'll do it. Oh, you go.
How do I roll?
I assume it's
It
just
says
a D4.
guidance. Okay, I'll just roll a d4 then.
Yeah, probably make your life easier. No, that works.
Okay.
So yeah,
Nice.
for her roll, she'll get +2, she'll get +3. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, and so you're 21, very effective. as you're kind of fishing around inside of him, being a cleric and having to have mended people many a time, this isn't something that's like super new to you. But his body isn't really, I guess, organized the same way that yours is, that most people's are. Some stuff is just kind of not exactly in the place you expect it. It's like a couple inches up or a couple inches down or like weirdly long or something like that. So as like fishing pieces of metal out of his body, he is bleeding quite heavily. So you start shoving more cloth in there. Dakota, you would probably come in with probably with Sapphire as well and Galmar, and the Galmar has the spear that the guy used, and Dakota and Sapphire have the cloth and the warm water and stuff, which they would hand to Nia and Rue.
So,
All
did you
right.
suspect something on the blade would be useful for the examination?
I was wanting to know if it had any effects. My magic and Rue's magic aren't working on him.
That's concerning.
Can you guys sniff out the magic in the sword?
I'm afraid I don't exactly have identification magics like that.
Dakota?
I have detect poison and disease. I don't know if that's gonna do much, but
Absolutely, use it on both the weapon and Cyril.
And Ania will say that while she's trying to clean up some blood so she can see better.
alright. Alright, let me see here. Okay. Boop. And yeah, boop. Okay, that didn't put it in the thing, but I do cast detect poison and disease.
Okay, let me
Right.
read over that real quick.
What was that?
Oops. Let's see. You can sense the presence and locations of poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet of you. You can also identify the kind of poisonous creature, or disease in each case. As you are looking at the thing, you do not sense any diseases on either him or the spear.
Okay.
Alright. Well,
or any poison.
Whatever it is, it ain't the sort of regular poison type. I'm guessing it's some sort of weird magic stuff. Maybe it's related to whatever he has going on already here. I just kind of gesture vaguely to the horns and, all that sort of stuff.
Are those an actual part of his form? I thought those were just decorations on his equipment.
All this time.
I know, isn't this just so interesting?
It took me a while, but originally I just kind of thought that's what humans looked like, but recently I started to wonder if maybe there was something else going on.
Since Rue has taken out some pieces, I'm going to try Cure Light Wounds again.
Okay.
And should I just roll?
Yeah, just roll.
Okay. Standard roll, cast spell. Ooh.
Okay, that's pretty good. As you start healing him, and you do see that the wound starts to close again, and it closes most of the way, and then it stops. Only about half of your healing actually went to him. You do notice it stopped around the metal, and it's still bleeding because the metal is pretty much keeping it open to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
It might just be because it won't heal because the metal's there.
Yeah. Let me
We
go
have to
ahead
make
and
sure.
I can locate object and find the rest of it in him.
Ooh, we should take out the big pieces first. I think the locate object is good, but I don't think he's in any state to take out more right now. We need to stabilize him first.
But he can't stabilize him if he has more of it in him.
True.
Well, I guess he can't gain more health.
Oh, if it's in a major organ or something.
Let's take out the small ones first, and let's see if we need to dig deeper.
Okay.
Hey, Sen, above game, would I know if this is a normal thing for metal-based healing?
You would know that
Metal.
to the best of your knowledge, especially with your own cure wounds, healing does not work very well if something is actively keeping the wound open. The way healing kind of works, to the best of my explanation in this world, is that it hyper advances your own body's ability to heal over things, with magical implications to it. And so when it's trying to heal through your body, it's basically trying to see whether or not you have something that will essentially reopen the wound. It can't heal over something that isn't organic. And so if it's trying to heal through rock, through metal, through other stuff like that, it just won't, because your body just can't adapt to it properly. If it's small enough, it will adapt over it, and it'll just heal the item inside of you. But for the most part, if it's like you have a giant spear in your shoulder or something, it will not heal until you take it out.
While Rue works, and he is going to start cleaning the blood like around his helmet, around his jawline and stuff. Still not taking off the helmet, but thinking about it.
roll me a private D20, Cyril.
Okay.
No. we need to hurry.
Look, my fingers are deep into this, bro. It's bloody.
Alright, cool. He doesn't look too much worse for it at the moment. He is, his blood is still pouring out of him, but he doesn't look too bad. Your healing seems to be generating blood inside of him, which is now also gushing. But as she's like digging inside of him and pulling out stuff, roll me a Constitution save, Rue. Sorry.
Oh, come on. I've seen a lot of things, and she can't really understand.
Oh, it's not for you to
pain.
throw up or anything. It's whether or not your hands can deal with being sliced apart.
I'm blessed too, right? We double bless ourselves. Yeah.
You have a +3. So Constitution +3.
Can we double guide? Can guidance be?
Nah, it only works
bonus?
once.
Frick. What am I doing? What is this?
Oh no!
What did I just do?
So that's a 7. So you're reaching, you're pulling out piece by piece, and each piece that you pull out is just tearing your hands apart. You're somewhat careful with it, and even you put like a wrap around your hand to grab some of the pieces, but they're sharp. They're like razor sharp. Whatever his shield did to his chest plate just splintered a lot of his chest plate's metal, and is just every time you grab one of the pieces, it slices into your hands, and it's just an unpleasant experience for you. We're gonna go with 3 damage to you. That works. So your hands are just
really
sliced.
hurts. Oh man.
You are able to get
Look to the others.
most of it out though.
Does anyone here have medical experience? Or maybe we can find the ship's doctor?
I'd be glad to go searching, but I think the captain would be the best person to know for the reference. I'm not certain how much time we have left, Empty says, looking over.
Let's
We need
just
to take.
push on. Let me cast detect and find all the pieces, and I'll just cure wounds as I go on myself. If I cut, I cut, but I need to grab it and I will pull it out.
And Nia will take out a few potions and just set them there for people for Rue to use if she wants to.
Then let's do it. She gets in the mood, and she's gonna do locate object for all the pieces, and then she's going to cure wounds herself. And then of course anybody that helps, and then she will get going. Whether it cuts up or not, she just heals as it goes.
That's so cool.
She's a badass like that. Yeah.
Is anyone else trying to do anything while she does? This is gonna take her a little bit.
Can I do a help action or?
You are more than welcome to, yeah. Roof, if you roll, we'll do a medicine check. Which one of you has higher medicine? I think it's Rue.
I have a +7.
+8.
Okay. So I'll do Rue, advantage medicine.
Advantage with guidance. Let's do it.
It's a very good thing you had advantage.
Good.
And Dakota, Galmar, and Sapphire, what you 3 planning to do while these 2 are just like hunting after these little bits in his chest frame.
I don't freaking know medicine things, Cindy. I am standing awkwardly to the side.
I'm just sitting here trying to think of an explanation for why Gelmar would have any knowledge about first aid, but he probably wouldn't. So reasonably speaking, I should probably just send him off to go look for like an on-ship surgeon or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Does anybody have music? I usually do this while music is playing.
You do?
Yeah, somebody
a
always
lute.
follows me around with a lute, and then I go to hospitals, and they're like, "Oh, I play." I'm like, "Yeah,
What'd you say, Sapphire?
I have a lute.
yeah,
There you go.
yes, thank you, Play Maestro."
Feel free to roll me performance when you can, Sapphire.
Sapphire multi-classes into Bard.
To be fair, there are actually a lot of backgrounds that actually come with an instrument proficiency and a free
Yeah.
instrument to boot usually.
As they should.
I think it would be performance. Yeah.
I'm getting there.
You're good.
Has to
Ben! I need help.
jungle gym her way around.
The baby's just like, I want to be here too.
I need help. Can you grab her?
I remember those
D20, right? I
days.
got it. What's my performance?
Oh,
The baby's just like, here's my performance, guys.
She just fell right before I had to do all this. So,
Oof.
oh no.
so she's like crying.
Oh
Aw.
no.
Okay, performance.
She needs the best cuddles.
Okay.
Ooh.
D.
Do, do, do. Do, 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 do.
Roll.
Oh
Oh,
my
damn.
god.
Oh my!
Fucking nat 20, baby.
Nice.
Just like suddenly, he just starts playing through the flames with one finger.
Wow, I feel so invigorated.
So
Oh,
you
you're
got
really good.
You get a hit of bardic inspiration.
as she's playing, it also helps Dakota, because Dakota, I can guarantee you, you're not used to the sounds that this operation is going to be making. It's not pleasant. It's very squishy.
Well,
I'm about to
No,
use my
no, I
bone
wouldn't.
saw. Step aside. Need to start
Oh,
cutting.
no.
That is totally like a medic. I totally forgot about that. That's totally like a medical tool. I can use my
You,
bone
Oh,
saw.
yeah.
you fucking you
Holy
make
crap.
the buzz saw again, but it's super tiny. You're like gag you and gag.
so
true.
Cindy, theoretically, I could make an explanation for why I would be familiar with these things, but I don't know of how feasible that would be because I never elaborated on that part of the backstory.
They probably wouldn't have done. Yeah,
Mhm.
you probably wouldn't have heard of.
No.
Yeah.
Ania is trying to figure out how Cyril's helmet does come off if she has to remove it.
Hmm?
Has she seen him eat and drink? I assume she has. How does he do it usually?
He usually just puts it under the mask, so where the chin
Mhm.
is, there's a little bit of a gap there, and he usually like shoves a straw in there, or he just like shoves food up there and eats it that way.
Okay.
Does my locate object show anything in that area?
It does. You're able to find the little bits and pieces, and Nia's over there helping you pick out the little bits and pieces. It is absolutely slicing the fuck out of your hands. Like these are like razor sharp, tiny pieces too. Like it's no wonder that it just wouldn't close. There's like probably 30 or 40 different like smaller
Oh,
pieces that is just
gross.
digging into all parts of his chest frame, his chest cavity.
Yeah, goodness.
Can-
She just like has to grab it, and then as it's like bleeding with her own skin, she just
Mhm.
takes it out. Cute.
Question.
Mhm.
Can I pour a potion onto wounds?
You can, yes. If the wound
Okay.
is open and refuses to close, the way that the potions actually work, same with a lot of healing magic, is it just makes you produce more blood. It makes your heart
Mhm.
pump more, unless your heart is
Mhm.
being constricted by something.
Okay.
So it at least makes it so he
And
just doesn't run out of blood.
okay, using the locate spell with
Mhm.
Ruse,
Mhm.
once we feel we've gotten like a layer, like the deep layer done,
Mhm.
Ania's gonna pour some of the potion.
Okay.
Yeah, she could point out where we're done, and then just kind of be like this
Mhm.
this
Mhm.
area, because we're both well versed in the body, so
Yeah, as you
at
pour
least
the
just
potion
general.
into the open wound, like blood just starts pooling in there. It just like squirts some
Oof.
blood out, and but it does. You can see it actually healing a lot of the different sections that were like impaled or like stuck into with like super tiny pieces. But it pretty much just like causes it to like hardcore start up his blood production again. So you got it's just flowing through his chest cavity and just leaking onto just all the way up your arms, down some of your clothes and stuff
Ugh.
like that.
We'll use some of the rags to try and keep our vision clear for
Hmm
this.
I'll get splashed with some water. Just splash me. Just like have a run down.
But having like super tense like Silent Hill music in the background.
Yeah. And then suddenly splash me. Okay, next one.
Do you walk out of the room, Dakota or Gilmore?
I mean, I'm probably out looking for a
Yeah, the search.
Oh, okay,
doctor,
right. Yeah.
and probably in some level of panic.
That's fair. You would have found, you would talk to the captain, and she would have told you they don't have a doctor aside from her. And her experience is purely, stitching people up for the last 100-something years. They've been trying to find a doctor, but unfortunately it's a really either expensive or difficult to find occupation. So she would be your best bet, so you would probably drag her back to that room.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, probably.
And Dakota?
I probably would have like either followed Gelmar during the thing, and like when they come back, I just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna just go stand outside now.
It's fair. She walks in the room and looks at the two of you just like fist deep into his chest cavity, and she's just like,
Sapphire's playing music in the background. Don't forget her. She's the maestro of the whole thing.
all I
This
can
is
imagine
surgery,
is
bro.
like Subnautica music or like Silent Hill, just like very
Don't
calm
you
and
know?
serene music being played.
That's how surgery always is. Have you never heard that they always playing music in that surgery room?
Oh yeah, my mother has a lot of
Oh yeah.
surgeon friends, and they play like exclusively. They play German death metal or classical music.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
her friends either exclusively play German death metal or classical music, and it's always the people that you don't expect to play the music that do.
No, I think I don't know if it was German death metal. I know that she mentioned like gangster rap.
That was a third one, yeah. Gangster rap. I know German death metal was in there, and then also classical music. The classical music was the one that threw me off. That
Well,
goes
that
hard.
sounds like the generic one, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that's.
Yeah.
I feel the
There's no
classical
lyrics.
It's
music
so
is
generic,
least.
it throws me
No.
off. It's just like, well, I
But there's-
guess, yeah.
Yeah, there's no lyrics. You can focus on just the music and stuff and your thoughts.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you guys are making pretty good headway into it. Because the blood production, because you guys are very careful with pulling out the stuff, you guys are hurting yourselves more than you are him. And as you're, cure woundsing yourself and such, you guys are slowly developing a lot more scars over your hands as, the next 10, 15 minutes go on. But you're able to pull out a lot of the material out of his chest, and the captain just kind of looks at you two and it's just like, do you need help? I can stitch. I got a sewing kit.
Do you know how to take out metal pieces from a body?
No.
Oh. Well, this is our first time too, so you can help so we can share the scars.
Oh, after we go over it, she can kind of stop the wounds until we put the healing stuff on it.
He bleeds a lot more than most people do.
Wow, a lot of
Oh,
people bleed a lot more than this one does, actually.
She slowly looks over at Rue with a look of genuine concern.
She smiles.
But
Huh.
yeah, Ania will go back to focusing. She will try to. I'm sure, like Ania has some bandages. She might like try to, not get some cuts by just giving
Mhm.
her hands a little bit of padding.
Okay.
Rue's just completely given up on trying to stop herself from getting cut. She's just owning the
Rue
pain.
doesn't
Saying,
care.
she's just saying "ow" sometimes, but she still goes in, grabs it, and she doesn't let go. She's just committed.
Takes a lot of padding to not get like really bad cuts on your hands, but like your fingertips, just to be able to grip them, you can't put a lot of padding on them. So their fingertips at least do get quite a few cuts, but at least your palms and stuff are perfectly fine. Rue, on the other hand, her hands look like she just put her hand through a fucking wood chipper.
Blender. Oh yeah, there's like skin bits that are like healing and shimmering
Oh god.
as she's going, but she doesn't have like any real reaction to it, and she's just kind of keep going.
Alongside how she looks, that would be fucking terrifying. That'd be straight up that'd be out of a horror show. But yeah, so you guys managed to pull stuff out of him pretty well. It looks like he's more or less fine. There is so much blood, but you guys pull out some of the rags. You're welcome to do cure wounds on him, and it will apply this time.
Okay.
With-
Yeah, I already used on my first level, so I'm going to cast it at second level.
Okay.
So let me see how I do that.
Is everybody
I'm-
back or no?
Yeah, everyone's back aside from Dakota, who's standing outside the door.
Oh, I might as well do
See.
prayer of healing too. It just takes a little longer
That can
because
work.
everybody,
Standard roll.
everybody, I think is still a little hurt.
Yeah.
So I'll cast it at second level.
Very nice.
Dang.
Good job. Good.
As you cast it, you can actually see the wound starting to close. All the excess blood that's in there, that's just like free floating, has nowhere to go aside from out. So as it closes and just kind of like seals itself, the blood just squirts upwards like a fountain.
Oh,
It's a very grotesque scene, but the blood has to go somewhere, so it just like a fountain. But it does close fully, and all the metal you kind of like pull back a little bit so it's not going to keep stabbing him. And Cyril, you take a very deep breath and you wake up.
As the microphone cuts out.
Perfect.
Go.
What happened?
What happened is that I'm never trusting you again when you say I'm fine.
I was perfectly fine.
Ania will lift the poncho and point at where the giant hole in the armor is, and all the blood.
yeah.
I've had worse.
You were dead.
A flesh.
I hear like the shouting or something, and I walk back in. I'm like, "Sir, you're awake? Are you okay? What happened?"
Ania, oh wait, go ahead.
I am fine.
Ania will offer her hand and say,
If you give me a gold coin, I'll stop saying you weren't fine.
You can keep saying how not fine I was as much as you want. It won't bother me.
Cyril, you do
on
see
this.
that Ania and Rue are absolutely fucking drenched in your blood. From like probably like halfway up their body down, it's just blood.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Were you fine?
I was at one point.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah, it probably wasn't during the surgery for sure.
Look at her hands.
Her hands are like skin peeling apart, flesh in the middle, bright red, like a river somewhere. Oh no, this happened.
No, don't you start. See what you're doing? Now she's doing it.
I'm so sorry. He's gonna wrap both of her hands in his hands. I wish I could
Ow.
fix it now.
Hmm?
I am completely out of magic.
Oh. Well, if you did have some, I'd ask you to use it on yourself.
I will. Nothing. A little bit of rest, and I think you did quite a good job on the surgery.
Oh, yeah, all of us did really well in the maestro. Oh, the music was the best. It's too
That
bad
guy's
you were
really
out.
good.
I imagine she's still playing.
She's still playing.
Yeah, I'm still playing.
Just like playing so fast her fingers are on fire at this point.
I thought I heard something while I was on the bridge.
No, a
Beautiful.
bridge of death.
There's
Enya will. Oh, good.
in my culture, we cross a long bridge where our relatives and our brothers in arms wait for us.
Oh. I like that, but I'm glad that you came back, though.
I am too. I am not.
It's so authentic.
I am not ready to go home just yet.
Ooh.
Enya will look to Rue like,
Are you going to heal your hands?
Gelmar just
Oh
like
yeah, I should go do that.
Gelmar just like tilts his head at his phrasing. Are you a celestial?
Hmm?
He made the comment of he's not ready to go home yet, so Gelmar took that literally.
Enya is trying to clean the blood.
I have a lot of important people that I miss, and those people are home.
Aww.
No.
I think he's a celestial.
Far from it. Far from it.
You know, after what I've seen, it would explain a lot.
I'm glad you're not going home just yet. Hang out with the kids for a little longer, huh?
I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you Rugrats helping me out.
Yeah, curfew's not up just yet.
I am so sorry for making you worry. I was sloppy. I lost focus out there. And he looks over at Rue's hands. And you paid the price.
No, you almost died.
Yeah.
You did die.
Occupational hazard.
Neil, frustrated, sigh like, ugh, and go back to cleaning blood.
Captain kind of looks at the ground and looks at the blood-soaked mattress of sorts, and she's just like, "Right, so this is your room. I'm gonna go check on the helm."
Thank you.
Yep.
Hit my hat.
Turns around and awkwardly walks away.
I have made quite a mess, haven't I?
Nah, blood washes off most
That
things.
happens.
You know, between Enid being in this condition and you being a little bit past where you are, I think I'll gladly take this.
That's fair.
I suppose. He looks over to. Is this armor anywhere in the room right now?
Yeah, all the pieces are either in a small pile if they're the bigger pieces, and the smaller pieces were probably put into like a tiny little bag of sorts that just has like a few of the pieces like sticking through them.
I stand by what I said previously. I think that might need to be reforged from the ground up. Especially now with that, he says, looking at the hole.
When we get back to Haven, I might take you up on that offer.
Just like pulls out the completely messed up leather.
If nothing else, these could make passable straps.
Very fair.
Will you be good for when we touch down on the bandit base and whatnot?
I think so. I mean, maybe Gelmar could straighten out the bent and broken pieces. It will still be serviceable to some degree.
Just staring at the gaping hole.
No, I don't think so.
Better than nothing, right?
Gelmar just literally just puts the leather armor next to him.
It's old, but I think it's going to supply a lot better protection than that at this point.
Well, I'm glad that everyone was able to heal you correctly. You're a good man, so I would do this for any one of our teams.
I love Rue so much.
Ania's gonna look to see if Rue's hands are healed yet.
She's gonna. Oh yeah, I
Ray of
should
healing, I believe.
pour some water on that.
Ania catches Ania glaring at her like, "Oh yeah."
Oh, what's you glaring at me for? Oh, okay, 1 second. She's mad. Let's go.
I would say it would take you a little minute, but you are able to do prayer of healing, and everyone kind of in the room kind of feels a gentle warmth go over them.
If anybody ever gets hurt, you all should be very comfortable in asking for help, because it's very easy to get help from friends.
Oh.
I was trying not to worry anyone, I suppose.
It's hard to worry.
I would be more worried if you tried to walk a mile with that.
Leah could put leather armor on, and he's like starts putting the leather armor on, and then he reaches over and grabs the breastplate and puts that on over the leather armor. I think that should do fine, right?
If someone hits here, and she'll like tap next to the hole, it's gonna go back in.
Yes, but that's what the leather armor is.
I think I still have my file on me, he said, as with a glove to his forehead.
Yeah, let Gilmer at least get the edges away.
Yeah.
Refining it so it doesn't consistently stab you.
Yeah.
Alright.
Especially since I don't really know how this parlay the cabinet I think she's setting up is gonna end up going. I don't know how I feel about her.
Hmm.
I think she's fine.
I don't know.
What do you dislike about her? Or not trust?
Just the way she talked about the bandits and the Bandit King. Like she left him, but she wasn't willing to give us much information about him, even if they, sent all that stuff after her every time.
I suppose from a basic standpoint, I think I understand that perspective. The part that still weirds me out is the fact that her word alone would be enough to get someone to come by to discuss peace.
Mm-hmm. And she probably ended up being with those bandits for a while, considering, and I don't even know how she got there. You know,
Are you worried she's going to set us up?
a little bit, to be honest.
I don't
Wow.
think so.
While you're at chat, I will be right back. And you go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Oh, she says, wow, I hadn't even thought of that one. That she'll like turn back on us.
She
Whether
owes us her life.
Whether that is her plan or not, at the end of the day, we're a bit too deep in to simply turn around at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
And where we're going, it seems that this king has a good, firm grip on what goes on in his kingdom.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Which means there's a fair chance they already know that we're here as well.
Yeah.
I think there's a fair chance that we would be ambushed if we didn't willingly go to him.
Mm-hmm. Well, we could have some of us try to stealth along and some of us do the meeting, but we don't really know enough of the layout to know if they'll, end up seeing that. And that'll probably end up messing up the persuasion stuff we're trying.
Well, it sounds interesting to be sneaky, some of us, and then kind of a surprise in case we get in danger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind Cyril's plan of, like, helping them with the turf war, but we don't know what it is they're fighting.
This
What
is
if it's
true.
something we don't want to fight?
Good
I would
point.
really like to get into his rumor castle, honestly. If he has that much stuff on the Yonti.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back.
Welcome
Welcome
back.
back.
We still don't have enough information in any real direction to know what it is we're stepping into.
Could we just listen and then some of us sneak around to see if we can get their secrets and then go on to the one that's the turf war?
I won't stop you if that's your desire, but as I've already made the comment before, subtlety's never exactly been my strong suit.
Go
I
ahead.
may be able to get his attention.
Oh,
If he's so obsessed with information on the Yonti, I do have the prophecies I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that would be a bargaining chip that would interest.
If we need it, I'm not willing to give it exactly if we don't know what he's using the information for. For all we know, he could be trying to help them.
An extinct race of snake men. What does he have?
Well,
Ghosts?
to be fair, I believe I was, my mission was to shoot up Yuanti, right?
Yeah, inside of the tree.
Yeah. To be fair, I know for a fact they're not as extinct as one would believe, considering, my patron, sent me that mission with the tree to go shoot some up.
You're going to shoot trees?
No, shooting people in trees.
Oh,
Snake
that
people.
sounds bad. Oh, okay.
Gelmar is already, he's slow and turns to her. Did a snake do something to you in your childhood?
Well, no, but no.
That was to Rue, actually, bud.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. That makes much more sense.
Man, on the farm, there's a lot of snakes. But I wouldn't just, be mad at somebody who has a snake face. That's a bit mean.
Gelmar just has that math calculations flying everywhere face. Trying to process this.
I'm surprised you, of all people, would comment on them being ghosts. I thought you believed in quite a many things. And he would say to Cyril.
I do believe in a great many things, but even in my time that I've been alive, when I was a child, they were even then bedtime stories to scare us. They weren't physically real. I've fought many monsters, some that even today don't exist. But never were any of us sent after Yom-T.
I'd still love to hear one of those tales one day.
Well, we have 3 days. I'm sure I'll be able to tell you sometime. Not going to be able to do much else.
I can certainly give you one of those tales. For it's the least I can do for all the trouble I've caused.
Oh.
Nia will. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was like, somebody get some popcorn.
Gelmar's already sitting on a barrel in the corner.
Somebody's got to have messed with explosions and corn in a farm before.
True.
Probably like gnomes or
Fire.
something.
Yeah, fire and corn.
Fucking gnomes. How do you make this clearly
Haven.
poisonous bean turn into a non-poisonous ion? Fucking nuke it!
Even has the pressure cooker popcorn.
Oh god.
They nuke it! It's a huge explosion, but then it sinks down to them just watching something, like the corn slowly pop in a machine. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's nice. Very fair. Guys would just have normal rations and stuff like that. Maybe weird creations if you guys went over to the gnomes' food spot, but for the most part, y'all have normal rations.
So let's see. One good story. Let's see.
You sure you up for saying it now? You are only just woken up.
That's fair. You could probably use a bit of rest.
No, I can handle sitting and talking.
Go to bed,
Yay.
Grandpa.
Go to bed,
No, stay up with the children.
So there was at one point a large manor house at the edge of Haven, the very far edge. It used to be owned by a wealthy man. But we didn't know or care about the details of who he was. And the problem was that it had been infested with gargoyles.
Wow.
Now, today, they are merely embellishments placed onto tall buildings. These gargoyles were very much animated. And it was my regiment and 2 other legions were sent. This was going to be a siege.
Whoa.
Even with the 3 regiments that we had,
Did you die?
no, we were ill prepared for the fight that came after us. Their flesh did not take damage the same way that other flesh did. Sparks would fly when we hit them. We were, in all practical sense, beating stones with sticks. It was, I believe, yes, about a week's worth of hard fighting.
Wow.
Before someone else showed up with a small host behind them, not a part of the order, a different paladin of some sort.
A hero?
Inevitably, his name became synonymous with heroics. I met him only shortly. His name was... I'm so terrible with names. Something... Sky something. And when he showed up, there was this reinvigoration. His host, along with mine and the remaining legion, suddenly pushed forth with him at the lead.
Oh. Yay.
It was incredible.
Like a proper cowboy, I'd say.
Like a hero.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he swung, there were these explosions of radiant light. And just shattering of whatever foe was in his way. By the end of 2 more days of fighting, we had cleared the infestation.
Yay!
Just to make sure we raised it to the ground.
Oh. Wow.
Ania was very invested, like halfway through. Like she was cleaning, and then halfway through, she was like listening.
Yeah.
Gelmar was just on the edge of his quote unquote seat the entire story.
Mm-hmm.
Just all the kids listening to Granddad talking about good fighting friend. Oh, I love it.
Well,
Hmm?
Sounds like quite like the stand. I wish I could have been there to see it myself.
It was as glorious in its end as it was awful in its middle.
I'm glad you saved, or they saved the day.
If it hadn't been for that hero, I don't know how many more of us would have made it out of there alive. It wasn't our job to retreat.
Ania, in the midst of cleaning, the bucket is red. She's not getting any more cleaning done. She's going to gather the bucket and rags and be like,
I'm gonna get some more water, so maybe we can get this cleaned a bit before you actually have to go back to bed.
Yeah, I've slept in worse.
and he'll huff and start to leave the room.
I'll tag along with you, miss. Go along with her.
All right.
I suppose as much as I'd love to sit and listen a bit longer, I should probably get started on that breastplate. Ain't correct?
Nick says, looking at the hole again.
I would appreciate it. I have had that. I have had that forever.
You can see him with the sheepish grit teeth. He's just like, he looks like he's got a couple things he wants to say. Most notably, he's not certain he wants to promise it'll still last much longer.
It's old.
It's an antique of an antique at this point.
I'll just see about cleaning off the edges, and maybe we can see about having it patched when we get back. But I give no promises for its longevity.
I think when we get back, I may have to simply accept that it is time to forge something anew. Although I don't know if I will have the gold to do.
We can see what we can do when we get there. After all, fighting does break out here. We might wind up with a few ounces of metal all up here.
I really liked the story, Cyril, or leader. She says as she goes up. I like the idea of becoming a hero.
I'd like to hear another.
I think you can all become great heroes.
Oh. Yeah, stick around with the kids. We'll all become good heroes.
I don't know if the shadow of my past will cover that up.
You just need to be like the stories, leader. Just ignite the night with a new flame, and that will take off all the shadows. That's how fire works, right?
I don't think anyone in this room really cares about who you used to be so much as who you are right now. At the very least, not in terms of personality or what you've enacted. The past it leads you to who you are right now, but it is not you necessarily.
It's true. Got choices.
Maybe you're right. I have spent a long time looking back for
Yeah, don't you
probably
know?
None
Thank
of us
you.
none of us know how the rest of our lives are going to go. So the best we can really do is just keep on pushing forward and try our hardest to make sure that the tomorrow we have is a bit brighter than the one we have today.
Right. Because, good guys don't look back at the explosions. I heard that one. So you don't look back.
Gelmar just says his glove to his chin again as he's just dragging the chest piece out of the room.
It's amazing. All right. The next couple days are going to be more or less peaceful for you guys. The storm is going to kind of more or less fade as the days kind of pass back to more or less clear skies, calm waters. Nothing super exciting on the travel.
Well, I want to ask Ania what she thought of the book.
Important.
Oh yeah.
It's very important.
Very important. Do you want to phrase the question as Dakota, if that's okay?
I'm just imagining that like Dakota's kind of like following Ania around, and it just kind of like looks at her expectantly, just like glances over.
And Nia will like be dumping the water and be like, "Are you okay?"
So, what'd you think of the book?
Of the
You
book?
read it
Oh, it's
yet?
adorable.
Dakota's eyes.
Just see his soul crack in half.
Adorable was definitely not what he expected.
No. like there's like a dead silence as he's just like, well, I mean, that's not the words I would use to describe it. I was thinking more inspirational, admirable, cool.
I think it's adorable that you've chosen to take on that coolness. In the best way I can possibly say.
I genuinely don't know how to respond to that, miss.
You can take your time.
Well, I think that that the Cowboys code and the character of Dakota, I think that fighting for freedom and saving villages and whatnot. I just think that the author really knew what they were doing when they were writing all that. And
Mm-hmm. I was looking over the Cowboys code and I noticed something.
yeah,
Number 8. I think you need to apply that a little bit more to yourself in the future.
all creatures, great or small, scales of feather or skin, are equal so long as they can think and live. Never think for a second that you're more deserving of freedom than any other creature.
and Nia will turn to him and like lean forward slightly, but she's like very much shorter, and she will give him a little tap on the shoulder, and she says,
All creatures, including ones we may hate about ourselves.
Oh. Well, he just kind of like looks down as just like well, I mean, sure, I might be deserving of freedom, but that doesn't mean I end up getting it.
Not freedom, are equal.
What was that supposed to mean?
Well, you seem to hate a certain part of yourself quite a bit, and I don't think you should as much as you do.
Well, it's not that I hate it, per se. I just don't know if that part is gonna end up being well received by the world. I don't.
I
I
don't
don't know
know
how I
either.
feel about. Yeah, I don't know
By the
how I feel
way-
about them. Yeah.
By the way, Cyril knows, and I don't know how he knows, and I have not questioned him about it yet.
Yeah, I don't know either, and I haven't had the ability. I haven't gotten the chance to confront him yet, especially considering the fact that he just died.
Now, I don't think he'll care if we confront him about it. I just don't know what to say, which is very
Yeah.
difficult a position for me to be in, because usually I know what to say.
That's fair.
Mm.
Well, we got some time. I mean, I guess we can, try and see if we can get him alone and try to figure out when he figured that out. It must have been when we were taught when we snuck out that night, right? Because we haven't really
No,
talked much
no
about
one
it,
followed
right?
us.
That's fair.
I made sure of that. I wouldn't have talked about it if anyone followed us.
I have decent eyes. I didn't see anything either.
Well, he's like 400 years old. Maybe he's run into before.
Welcome to the library, Captain Sword Lady.
Hello.
I don't know what we would even ask him. I think, at the very least, we know he doesn't have a negative opinion, or else we would probably not be here anymore.
Yeah. I mean, he ushered me into that when we were talking to that elf lady. I mean, he told me that he knew with the little message stone thingy.
I hate that.
Yeah. And he didn't seem terribly disdainful about it, per se.
No, I think he's too old to be disdainful of it.
That's fair. That's fair. You know who is disdainful? Minnesota Injustice in the book. It's just a really good villain. Just wanted to bring that up.
Did you like the last book? Did it end exactly how you wanted?
Oh, have I had the chance to read that yet? I think I have.
You would have had the chance to. Whether or not you actually did is up to you.
Yeah, I would have read it. It's Dakota Ryder. I would have read it.
Okay. Yeah, you would have read it.
Yeah. I'd say it was pretty good. And they brought back Minnesota Injustice again. Which I mean, I thought he died back in book 7, but I guess they brought him back, and Mississippi, she ended up turning back to the bandit side, and I don't know how I felt. Well, I guess it was always coming. I never really liked her. I just don't think that she was terribly right for. Hold on, I actually have to remember what I named some of the characters. Yeah. I never really thought she was the right partner for Gunsteel, but he was always sort of a rascal sort of guy.
You're giving me spoilers.
You read the book. You remember Gunsteel,
last
right?
I only read the first book.
Oh, well, I mean, he showed up there because Dakota ended up making him the sheriff of the town. On giving him and Mississippi the title of honorary cowboys, which I still don't think she deserved, but
You know, I don't have the book anymore.
I'm sorry, you what now?
I gave it to one of the others.
Which one?
I'm gonna keep that a secret.
That's the first edition novel.
No, I'm sure they won't hurt it.
What? Which one was it?
I only had. Oh, which crew member? It's a secret.
When you say crew member, do you mean our crew or one of the people on this ship?
One of our crew, of course.
Oh, thank goodness. who, you know, word gets around, and if one of the crewmates on the ship ended up finding out, then the captain ended up finding out, and I don't know what kind of connections she has.
Well, I think it would be pretty famous. They would find out that Dakota Rider was based off a true story.
Well, yeah, but then the word gets more around, and it's a very underground series, so that's why I can get away with being Dakota Rider.
Mm-hmm.
But if other people end up finding out that I was Dakota Rider, then other people who know the series would end up finding out.
And then you'd be famous.
Do you know where I found that edition of the novel? That edition of the novel is only kept in the
Well, you're
Shadow
famous.
Library. Yeah. I guess I am.
Or you can just say you're dressing up because you idolize them, but you actually are a Dragonborn.
Well, one of these days we'll figure out where the author got the idea for an orange dragonborn with green eyes.
That wasn't revealed in the final book?
No, they never really talked about it. I was really hoping they were going to figure it out, but we never really know who Dakota's parents are. I mean,
Well, maybe they'll release more books.
Well, I mean, I think that's the 12-book series, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If the last book was the final one. So, yeah. 12 books, and I mean, they tried to make a spin-off with the Gunsteel series, but that didn't really pan out.
Ania will start heading back to the deck to go get more water, but she's walking slow. And she'll be like,
well, is that all you wanted to ask me?
I mean, I'd like to ask you again who you gave the book to, because that's the first edition novel, but I don't know if I'm going to get that out of you.
Cowboys Code number 5.
Fair enough. Touché.
By the way, I lightning bolted the guy who downed you.
Indeed you did.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Though you also the lightning bolted one of the people who were swimming away from the ship.
That was the guy who downed you.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I was kind of phasing into unconsciousness at the time, but are also never supposed to. The Cowboys Code number 2: never harm a child, the unwilling, or the innocent. That's the bandit's way. I mean, technically, he was unwilling.
I don't think that classifies as unwilling.
Well, I mean, he was trying to escape from the fight.
He was trying to escape from the fight so he could go report us back to Roderick.
Does that fall under Cowboys Code number 9? That's if you see injustice to another creature happening, you're under honor bound to stop it?
Well, if it helps, I'm not a cowboy.
Oh. Not yet, you aren't?
We'll see.
Join my
under
cowboy
my code. Under my code.
Your code.
People who under my code, people who forego kindness should not be granted kindness back. Once kindness is given to them and they spurn it. That man had many choice chances to step down. In fact, the whole crew that invaded us, they were only after her the whole time, but they opened up by attacking us. If they were really after a pirate, and this ship has been invaded multiple times, they know that there are innocents and civilians on board, and they likely would have burnt or killed the whole boat just to kill one person. Therefore, I do not feel bad about hitting that man who was fleeing.
Well, I suppose.
They only offered to make peace with us once we began to win.
Hmm. I guess that would kind of fall under the bandits code. I wish we could have gotten more elaboration on it so I could figure out how these bandits worked.
Well, there is that guy who's frozen. He might be alive. I don't know.
Above gave us cereal. That guy's gonna have some serious issues if he's actually still alive in there.
Do I exist? Maybe.
We absolutely send Gelmar to interrogate him, though.
All right.
Got his arrow and demoralized him immediately afterwards. Used the arrow to murder his buddy.
Oh, God.
Do you think we'd be able to confront Cyril like during these few whiles, or
Oh yeah.
would we not have gotten that chance? Oh,
So
They
it's
would be
gonna
able
be
to.
several days. So you guys.
But
will
Ania
Yeah,
still
know.
doesn't
so-
know what to ask.
So,
Mhm.
like, after the whole, like, fight and really fumbling that big attack, he's... You find him pretty much every morning with whatever open space he has on the ship,
Mhm.
sort of practicing and training and just trying to refocus after having allowed himself to get so sloppy.
I could see Dakota there. I don't know if Ania would also be there, but I could see Dakota kind of like approaching Cyril. I really like the idea that whenever Dakota kind of like is like walking like towards someone, he's doing like the cowboy thing, just like trying to determine like where the wind is hitting so it can hit his poncho really coolly as he dramatically approaches.
Adorable.
Ania may go if Dakota tells her beforehand, like, hey, I'm going to talk to Cyril if you go or not. And she would reiterate, we have nothing to tell him, but also I will go just so you don't say something stupid.
Fair enough, yeah.
That sounds like a Dakota thing to do.
Yeah. Dakota doesn't know when he'll get like another chance. Especially considering we probably won't get another downtime until after everything with the bandits. So
Mhm.
yeah, so Dakota would probably like approach and like tip his hat. It's like, howdy, sir. Joining?
Yes, I have allowed myself to get far too sloppy. I have been away from the training grounds for too long. I lost focus because of it.
Did Dakota tell Ania, or is it just Dakota?
I think Dakota probably would have told Ania, and Ania can decide whether she wants to tag along or not.
Okay, she's shadowing.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
And what are you two up to?
Well, I was coming here to, watch you fight and some such, but I was also wondering how you found out.
I followed you.
And that's all Ania says. She's just like, she just does like a big groan, like, oh no, I didn't see him. But she's not she's letting Dakota do the talking.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see anyone following. I feel like we would have noticed a large gent like yourself.
I think something that a lot of people don't do when they're checking their surroundings is they don't look up enough.
Dakota kind of like glances over to Ania. It's just like, you're the one with the perceptive eyes.
And he'll be like,
don't forget, I know how to move around without actually doing a lot of, and he'll like vanish and then reappear right next to Dakota, right in his ear, moving.
Kind of like flinches backwards and like instinctively grabs like his gun, but then like kind of puts it back in the void, I guess. It's like, huh, I see. Did anyone else tag along with you?
No, just me.
insight.
Insight.
Roll deception versus insight. Just such an immediate fuck you.
Oh, oops!
Deception,
I
right?
accidentally made a blind GM roll. Oops!
I was gonna say,
thought
does
Penny
that
was still on.
mark mean
I think I can reveal that. Yeah, I can. Yeah,
Oof,
do a
yeah.
deception roll, Cyril.
Oh, I just did it again myself.
Oh, you're fine.
I
There you
forgot.
go.
There, public now.
Yeah, make sure to change that, ladies.
That long pause. The long pause is what got the immediate insight.
Yeah, you can 100% tell that long pause meant something.
Dakota would be suspicious by default, but he does like glance over to Ania.
Ania is squinting, like half suspicious, half angry at Cyril, but she's not saying anything. But Dakota can probably tell that she's assuming he's not telling the truth.
You sure about that? I don't know if you know the rumors got out. I don't know how I would end up feeling about that, considering.
I can tell you that I don't think you have to worry about rumors getting out about you.
I have a lot of secrets from before I became a cowboy like myself.
And I have a lot of secrets from before I met all of you. I was not always the kindly old man.
Ania will continue to be quiet, letting Dakota either run out of things to say or take his time to think.
Yeah. I don't know if he has much like response to that. He's just kind of like solemnly like kind of looks down.
Ania will.
Yeah. There's just like I'm just me going just like God, it's so hard to figure out how to like go about like Dakota vaguely like acknowledging his past because like he's really bad at opening up about anything.
So Cyril's gonna crouch down so he's kind of eyeing both of them. And like Dakota's the most bothered right now, right?
Yeah.
Visibly.
And Ania is visibly angry at him.
Not so much anymore. There is still something there that's resembling anger. It's probably more akin to suspicion.
So he's gonna crouch down and he's gonna put a hand on both of their shoulders.
Ania will actually pull away.
Dakota will flinch, but I think he'll let it happen.
I'm sorry. Both of you. I'm sorry that you feel the need to hide yourselves. I'm sorry for whatever happened before we met. But I want you both to know you're safe. No matter how much or how little, and he looks at Ania when he says that, you trust me.
Dakota, well, yeah.
I understand. And if there is one thing I am not going to do, is out you to anyone. Nor do I think anyone else would out you among our group.
Ania will start to approach, but it's at a curve. So Cyril, who's fought many animals and beasts before, it may be a bit like a wolf circling someone, but it's only like a little bit. But he might like get some sort of imagery from that. And she'll start to speak and says,
I'm not worried about that. What I'm concerned about, and have been, is if you found out before you knew me or Dakota and we were just strangers, how would your reaction have changed?
In my time, I knew more than one of your,
Dakota will look up at that.
and each and every one of them was invaluable to our cause. I don't know who put it in your heads that you are somehow less than anyone else. But do not ever believe yourselves to be beneath anyone. Shorter, maybe, but not beneath.
Did you meet any others recently? Like, not like recently, but I don't know, somewhere in the 20 to 30 year ago range.
Nia would like to. Oh goodness. Nia would like to insight check on Cyril's opinion of changelings based on what he just said and his tonage and such.
Oh yeah, I'll roll that too.
Both of you roll insight.
Yeah. Ooh, spicy.
Hey, that's pretty good. He is not lying.
Okay.
I don't know what else
For the
you guys be seeking, but that for sure is.
Yeah, just like general opinion, positive, negative. If maybe when he said they were invaluable, there was like a secret secondary lining behind that.
I'll let Cyril explain that then.
If it weren't for them, many of us would have died much quicker. They could go places most of us couldn't.
Would you say that the way that you would be saying this would be kind of in what's the word I'm looking for? High regard, I suppose would be the term.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that'd be what you'd be receiving. Is it's a term of praise that he would be giving them more than anything else.
For the first time, Ania seems to drop her suspicion. She seems to trust that.
Yeah, same with like Dakota. No, he just kind of has like a sort of bittersweet look to him.
And I would say, Cyril, you have not seen one for many decades.
I had a feeling. And unfortunately, Dakota, you two are the first I've seen in a very long time.
I see. No, yeah, that makes sense.
I shudder to think why it makes sense. Although, and maybe it's because I have seen things and done some. I fear I know the answer.
He nods.
Ania will take out the book on Cyril's legions and offer it and be like,
I finished reading this. You can have it back. Your page is missing, though.
Oh, so you give that book back.
You can. I would say you should keep that. You will have far more use for it than I.
Ania will slowly start to move it over to Dakota, seeing if Cyril objects.
Cyril doesn't object.
Okay. Ania hands the book to Dakota for Dakota to read.
All right, sure, why not?
Very nice.
Tucks it on into the bag under his poncho.
See, you. I know something about you, but you don't know something about me. Is that mostly where this distrust comes from?
And he will think about it and look at Dakota for a second and say,
No. I think you are underestimating how most people feel about it, and that is where that distrust comes from.
Yes, my personal experience does color my view, I suppose.
What you said about the Yonti earlier, how you regarded them as ghosts, that is quite similar.
Oh?
Ania will nod and look to Dakota to see if Dakota wants to add.
I don't know how everyone views our sort, but from the impressions I got before I became a cowboy, it wasn't good.
That's unfortunate.
And Ania will look back to Cyril, and I would like to do a perception check to make sure no one is around.
Absolutely, for free.
Okay.
You see Sapphire in the background.
She's been here the whole time.
That is actually a good question. I assume, so they're on the top of the deck. The only person who would be around would be probably the person at the wheel, probably a good, 80 some feet away from you, so not really able to hear you guys talk. I assume Galmar and Rue and Sapphire, you are all below deck doing various things.
Hanging out
Probably,
together.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah.
They're just doing wholesome things.
Yeah.
Wholesome things. So
just
Yeah, they're
doing
just doing
push-up
wholesome
competitions.
things. Yeah,
Bacon.
just splash into their perspectives and just in a sparring competition or something like that.
Either that
There's
or
some sort of exercise race or something.
you're working on the hammering out stuff. I'm like, wow, that looks like you could do that with bread, really well.
I did do that with bread. Don't you remember? We
Oh,
did it in
we
Abigail
did that
Valley,
with bread.
remember?
Oh my gosh, we need to do it again.
Y'all have the most fucking adorable dynamic. Jesus Christ.
Sapphire, she needs to get in on this. The bread, the pounding.
I would love to do that again. If only I could potentially run a bakery alongside this without neglecting my smithing skills. But I suppose that's a dream for a different day.
Ooh, for tomorrow. We'll just put it off one day.
Beautiful.
So, confirming no one's listening, Ania will turn to Cyril and glance at Dakota again and says,
If we do approach the Elven territories more officially, me and Dakota are worried they have made advancements in their technology.
What kind of advancements?
Dakota.
Go ahead.
It's like Dakota kind of like sighs and we worry they might have found a way to find our sort.
Harness moonbeams, maybe.
Maybe. I assume you don't know about what was going on in the was the Eclipse Tower. I keep forgetting the places' names. Yeah. The Eclipse Tower for about better part of 2 decades.
No.
Sin?
He would not.
Sin, did my dad work in Eclipse Tower?
Your dad did,
I've
yes.
been wondering.
I thought so, okay. I thought so.
I believe we talked about that a few episodes ago, but he worked.
I just want to double check.
He worked as one of the I believe top researchers in the Eclipse Tower.
Got it. Ania will stay quiet.
Dakota kind of gets this like bitter look in his eyes as he looks to the side. I suppose I should at least elaborate on it for a little bit. A good while ago, I believe we'd heard about an escapee from the Shadow Star Kingdom. You were looking into it. I believe you asked some birds about it.
Yes, I have my network keeping an eye out for new entries into the city.
Well, you won't have to search any longer. I was that escapee.
Ania is surprised by this and blinks over to Dakota. Is like,
but it was recent.
It was. I did. Hold on, let me check my journal to get the timeline right.
I know we talked about it. I'm not sure if we wrote down.
No, it's in my journal. I wrote the entire timeline because I knew I was gonna mess it up. I escaped about a year or so ago.
2 years.
They saw. The rumors will say they saw a high elf escape. That was the form I took at the time.
That is what we were looking for.
Was. They did a lot of. It's like his accent starts to slip just slightly, as he talks. It's like, they did a lot of experiments on me. They wanted to see if they could harness changeling abilities so that they could detect intruders into their kingdom, but also see if they could utilize a changeling for themselves. When they realized that a changeling was born in their kingdom, they took the child for themselves and did away with both of the parents because they weren't sure which one it was. They had me there for the better part of 20 years.
Ania's grimacing a bit where she is.
Huh. They made sure to keep it a secret, though the public didn't really want to know about it at all, so it was pretty easy. Only the top researchers knew about me, locked away in the Eclipse Tower. Eventually, my patron got sight of me and took interest in me and helped me escape. That's how I got here, after about a year or so of wandering. And here I am. Took the form of the freest person I knew. He tips his hat.
It's awful.
It is. But I worry that if I get back into that kingdom again, they'll end up... Well, they were trying to figure out a way to detect changeling magic specifically. So I'm not sure what'll happen when me and the miss over here end up getting back into that kingdom. I haven't been there in a very long time. I'm also especially not sure what's going to happen when we get back to the tree, considering some select people might be there.
Yes. And I'm going to give you a hint about why the pages are missing about the 8th.
Mm.
And you should ask Alicia's predecessor.
I see.
And she's gonna mental note that for later. To
Because
play
it was
detective.
just about that long. It was just long enough ago where it wasn't 2 predecessors ago. Right, Sin?
Yeah, it was just one.
Yeah.
She, in theory, would still be alive.
Oh, wait, sorry, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Say those instructions again so I can make a note about that.
You should ask Alicia's predecessor about why those pages are missing. I'm sure they would be shocked to know that that book still exists.
Which book?
The one I gave you.
Oh, this book?
Yes. You see, I'm gonna lean in really close. Technically, I don't exist.
Neither do I.
Right. Our last mission scared the council so badly, they erased us from history.
Ania does look more surprised by that, even though what she said before was more joking.
Yeah, Dakota just kind of looks like both like confused, intrigued, and baffled. Alright.
And when the day arrives, which it may, that we do have to go to the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
If something happens, I will give you as much time as I can for you to escape. And he's gonna tap the He's gonna tap his spear on the deck, and the elk is gonna just sort of appear next to the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
This creature can get you far away quickly.
Thank you. I don't know what to say to that, sir.
If the time comes to it, you can focus on Dakota. I have my own ways of getting away. I'm not as scared of going to the kingdom as Dakota is.
Still don't understand that, but fair enough.
As confident as I am that you know what you're doing, I will not only focus on Dakota.
Primarily, then. More than half.
60,
So we're just
40
imagining
split.
that Cyril's just been glaring at Ania that whole time. During that whole pause.
She like lowers it down each time.
Just like 90-10, 80-20, 70-30, 55-45.
He's gonna reach out again for her shoulder, really slow.
Anya will squint and tense, but not pull away this time.
He's gonna pat her on the shoulder. You remind me of my son.
You had a
Anya
And he's just gonna stand up and walk away.
You had a son?
I just
Anya
was
will
because like he exclaimed that and then like realized that something might have happened, so he just kind of like caught himself.
Anya will not shout, but like call after them.
By the way, I'm taller. Usually.
Like calling back to his statement of like being shorter than others.
That may be you, but
And she'll leave it at that.
She can hear him. She can hear him chuckling a little bit as he walks away.
Oh, beautiful. All right. And
I think that went better than I expected.
yeah, it did.
very nice. Sapphire, real quick before we end. I believe you said that you were reading the book. I assume by probably the second day, considering you're a fairly quick reader, you would probably have finished it. Who would you have given the book to after that? Would you have held on to it? Would you have given it back to Ania? Would
Oh
you
my
have given
god.
it to Dakota?
There, you could do something really funny here.
Very, very curious on what your mindset is here for the character Sapphire.
Oh no, we've
assuming
lost
you're
her
near the
again! Sapphire!
The baby's got her down for the count.
She's knocked out.
Fucking
Hit her
elbow
with another
dropped
one.
on her.
We'll have to
Alright.
ask her later now.
Yeah, it's okay.
I don't know, but she has the opportunity to do something very funny.
Just give it to every person in the party before giving it back to
Just
Dakota.
slides over to
Oh,
Rue.
this is
Here,
absolutely
read this.
hilarious. Oh, I saw her unmute.
Oh, there you are.
Sapphire! Letting me unmute myself, so I had to close the app.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Discord was like, no, I refuse.
Can you get off? I'm trying to sit up. No, you're just gonna lay there? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so I assume you've been
Cyril,
pretty much
I was
active
gonna give
reading
it to Cyril.
You don't give it to Cyril? Alright.
That's actually a really good option considering.
I do like that. Okay. So yeah, you've probably been reading it like actively the last day or two, while everyone's been either forging or honestly probably closer baking or anything like that, and they've been talking to Cyril. So probably after the crew has talked to Cyril and tried their best to wiggle information out of him, he would have turned around. Probably would have turned around and like walked like 3 feet, and you just would have popped out of like the fucking nowhere, just like hi.
Mhm.
Oh.
Have a book.
Sapphire, where did you come from?
I point to the nearest doorway. That doorway?
That would make sense. Can I help you with anything?
Yeah, I thought you might want to read this book.
This would be fun. I haven't done like reading like this in forever. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just love the idea that you hand this book over and Dakota and Nia are like probably like 12 feet away, just kind of like talking to one another.
better be freaking careful with that. That's a first edition.
And Dakota doesn't know who has the book.
Mhm.
He's just like talking to Nia back to Cyril, just like, I need to know where my book is. Sapphire is just trading the book with Cyril.
Yes.
You would 100% see it.
I say nothing.
The book trades hands and fucking Dakota's just like, where's my book? Where's my book?
Do these books have like any kind of like mark on them or anything that they were like kept in the Star Shadow Library? I know it wouldn't have the Kenku mark on it.
Yeah, so there are two separate marks that are given to almost any book. One is a mark of fiction, and one is a mark of non-fiction, or typically a mark of history, as it's often called. The mark of fiction is one that Kenku has copied over, but is unsure whether or not it is actually fiction, or if there is some truth to it. So they just label it under fiction. And any book that has that mark is a book that was created by a Kenku. They have copyrighted it, or not copyright, but they've written it over and over again. And it's a copy of the original material that is inside of the Star Shadow Library. It's also put on the original books as well, and given a small marker that basically says this book is the original material, and we have rewritten it again and again. Helps them keep track of which books they have in the library and which books they don't. The mark of nonfiction is given exclusively to books that they can prove are real using other documentation via other people. This book has not only the mark of fiction, but it has that little sigil on it that states that it is the very first of its kind.
So you better be freaking careful with it.
There is quite literally no book on the planet that has that same mark on it. So
of this edition, of this like series,
yeah, of this series,
or this book of the series, yeah.
But that is where we're going to end it for today. Next episode, we're going to have you guys touch land. So if there's anything you guys particularly want to do while on the ship, do let me know. We'll handle that either via text or otherwise, and we'll do a recap of it. If you guys are interested in watching some of the other stuff that we do, or the rest of the series, feel free to pop by every single Friday at 6 p.m. PST, probably with the exception of January, but we'll see. I'm still debating on that a little bit. We might continue, it might not. I'm still debating on a few factors, so I'll let you guys know as I know. But if you guys want to see the more of this, come back every Friday at 6 p.m. PST. Otherwise, we have a whole slew of our schedules on our either About page or on our Discord or even on our Twitch schedule. Everything's more or less up to date. We're going to see if we have somebody to raid today. Let me see. Yes, Songbird is still going, so we're going to go ahead and raid my friend Speary. She's also doing D&D right now in the middle of one of her campaigns, where she is a player in the campaign. I do not know entirely whether or not they're like about to end, but they'll probably raid. They've been going for about 4 hours now. So if you guys are interested in joining a raid for Songbird's Tavern, feel free to pop on by. Either grab the first message or the second message if you guys are subscribed as they pop up here. And we'll go say hi to them. We'll go see whether or not they're in the midst of combat and see all their other fun stuffs that they're doing. But for all of you that were here and all my fellow players, my words are being mixed up today. I am so glad you guys were here to join me, and I will see you guys next week as we come back for Landfall. All right.
Bye.
And we'll see all of you fine folks next time as
Take
it
care.
Good night.
rains.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye.